Not sure how well you're going to be able to see this, but I'm going to pull this carb apart. So this screw here holds the barrel in place. And pull it out so the barrel can come right out. There should be a spring in here. There's the spring. Not sure I want to pull that needle off or the needle valve assembly off, but I want to get a piece of fuel tubing and at least blow through this thing and see how it feels going through there. Needle looks like it's in pretty decent shape. This barrel and this throttle arm is just really kind of mangled. I'm not really sure what to make of that. That's just, I think it's in rough shape. Inside of the body doesn't look too bad. I mean, O-ring's intact. It's pretty flat. I don't have any replacement O-rings for this, so probably not going to mess with this too much. Hopefully it'll be good enough to seal on there. We'll find out when I go to try and run it. That's about all I think I'm going to do on this thing. Clean it up a little bit and reassemble it. Okay, here's some of the things I found with this carb. It's really not in very good shape at all. The needle looks fine. The O-ring on the needle looks fine. But this throttle arm assembly looks like it's been broken off, and a really bad attempt to solder it back in place or something. It just looks really mangled there. I took some 3200 grit sandpaper for painting a fuel tank, or for sanding the primer down onto this barrel to try and smooth it up and clean it up a little bit. Then I noticed when I went to put this throttle stop screw back in that half of the housing for the throttle stop screw is broken off. So you can see right here, this part here is the housing, and you can see the bare screw there. So that part's broken off completely. So I don't know, the needle valve assembly looks okay, but I'm going to put it back together and hopefully we can get this thing to run with this. But really, this piece here, this screw piece here that holds the screw in for the throttle stop, really needs to be replaced if at all possible, because it's broken and there's only half of a piece here for the screw to thread into. But I'll put it back together, and when we get the whole the engine assembled, we'll see if it'll run. Some other things I found, I don't know, the piston looked like it had maybe ingested something also. If I look under the underside of this head, I see a marking here that doesn't look right. It looks, I don't know, like a piece of debris or something got up in there. But when I pull the piston out of the cleaning material, I'll show you that too. One of these screw holes here looks like it's really been kind of over torqued or something. I mean, it's not flush like these, it's kind of lipped out. I'm not even really sure how that can happen. Probably take a little file to that and try and at least get that lipped out, because I can feel that. The piston looks like it's got some score marks beneath the piston, or where the ring sits also, that I'll show you here in a few minutes, but I don't know, this thing's really not in the best of shape. I've got the crankcase and the carburetor soaking in some of that LA's Totally Awesome cleaner. Got the piston here. I've already taken the ring off. I'm sorry I didn't actually show you the process of doing that, but basically what I did was I just kind of got the opening, the ring gap, with my fingernail and just kind of popped one edge out, and I just kind of worked it around until it came all the way off. You want to be very careful with these rings. So then I was using the ring to actually just kind of roll it around and move it through the gap like this to try to clean the gap up. And I can just wipe that off or whatever, but I'm kind of holding the ring pretty firmly, and I'm just kind of rolling it around through the ring groove here. Try and clean it, make sure when it goes back on it's in good shape. Now I notice this is kind of a really nice thing actually, because since it's a high quality OS engine, we already showed that the sleeve was pinned so that it goes in the right way. Well, the piston has also got, well, I don't know if it's going to be able to be seen here or not. It's also got a pin right here which is where that ring gap is supposed to go. So it's really foolproof to put the ring back on. One of the things the owner of this engine wanted me to evaluate was whether this ring was any good. I thought it felt like it had been kind of compressed. Don't really have a way to check the compression right now because the engine's completely apart, but so I was just going to kind of clean this area up here. I tried to do my LA's Totally Awesome cleaner on this on the carbon buildup here, but it really didn't do it. I'm probably going to end up soaking it a little bit longer and scrubbing it some more. I want to pop these wrist pins out and take the connecting rod off. I also looked, and this one looks like it's symmetrical. It doesn't have a front or a back, so it doesn't matter which way it goes back in. It's got oil holes on either side of the connecting rod there. So let me take a look here under the scope. So yeah, it does have an orientation. The bronze bushing in here is chamfered here, so that would be the part that would be the front of the engine. So when it goes on the crankshaft pin, this chamfered area will be the part that you want to put on there first. So yes, it does have a proper orientation, and it's really not too hard to see the chamfer there. So when I take this wrist pin out, it'll be pretty easy to put it back together. But I mean, there's quite a bit of stuff under there that I want to try and clean up and get this thing all freshened up.